I'm Rebecca from Ingvid. Today, we will learn the difference between two very commonly confused words, and they are good and well. Now, English learners at all levels make mistakes with these very commonly used words because they kind of are similar in meaning. However, grammatically, we have to use them very differently. So let's understand exactly what they mean, how to use them, and then you will be able to use them more correctly and confidently. So let's go. Let's start with a little quiz first to see if you can tell which one to use. So in the blank space, should we be saying good or well? That's what you can tell me first. Do we say she speaks blank English? What do we say there? And the second sentence to think about, she speaks English blank. Okay, let's go back to the first one. She speaks blank English. Do we say good or well? Think about it. Pause the video for a second if you need to. Or, she speaks good English. The next one, she speaks English good or she speaks English well. It should be she speaks English well. Okay, so now, not sure if you got them right or wrong, but let's understand exactly why we chose those two. So first of all, good. Good is an adjective, okay? So an adjective describes a noun. In this case, good is describing English, which is a noun. A noun is a person, place, thing, or things like this, concepts like this, okay? So it's an adjective. It describes a noun. Usually comes before the noun, good English. And it answers the question, what kind? So for example, she speaks English. What kind of English does she speak? Good English. All right? So good will answer that question, what kind? Let's look at the other one, well. Well is an adverb. An adverb is going to describe a verb, an action. Okay? So here, what is well describing? Speaks. The verb speaks. She speaks English. And it answers the question, how? How does she speak English? She speaks English well. All right? But well is describing the verb speaks, and good is describing the noun English. Got it? We're going to practice it. It's really important that you stay with me here because we need to practice this part, which we're going to do. And then at the end, I have the exceptions. You know, English has exceptions where the rules are sometimes a little different, and it's important for you to know them so you won't be surprised or you won't say, oh, no, I didn't understand that. I want you to look at the main exceptions so that you'll also use those correctly. Okay, so stay with me so that you know, if you're going to watch something, watch it all the way, get the full picture so that you're really using it correctly and confidently. Okay? All right. Now, what I have here, this good and well, is also included in my online course, Correct Your English Errors in 10 Minutes a Day. We look at common mistakes like this and see how to correct them. All right, so if you're interested, I'll give you a link. Please check out the course. Now, based on what you've learned, let's see if you can tell me what's the right word to use in these examples. John is a blank driver, and John drives blank. When do we say good and when do we say well? The first one, John is a good driver, right? Good is the adjective. That's describing which word? Driver. What kind of driver is he? He's a good driver. John drives I guess you know that this answer is well. Okay? And well tells us about the verb. It tells us how does he drive? He drives well. Okay? Good. Now, good and well don't just describe people as we did in these examples. We could also describe places, right? We could say it's a good hotel. It serves people well. Or it's a good phone. It works well. Or it was a great concert, right? They played well. See how we can switch it around? Or, hey, that's a good idea. I think it would work well. All right? Great idea, great plan, great strategy, good strategy, good plan. Okay? So we can use good and well to describe all kinds of things. So first now, let's practice what you've learned here. So let's choose between good and well. Number 1, she is a blank writer. What do we say? She is a good writer. Number 2, she writes blank. She writes well. She's a good writer. She writes well. Okay? From now on, I'm just going to put G or W. Okay? But you understand that G stands for good and W stands for well. You've got it. Number 3, he is a blank singer. He is a good singer. He sings blank. He sings well. Okay. I know you're saying, oh, but it's the same thing. I want you to get used to it first, okay? Just to get used to the patterns that exist. But later we're going to mix things up a little bit. Number 5, they are blank managers. They are good managers. Number 6, they manage well. Yes, they manage well. Number 7, he coaches good or well. He coaches well. He is a good coach. He coaches well. All right. And number 8, they act good or well. They act well. Okay. We could have said they are good actors. They act well. All right. Now, this is the basic information, the basic rules you've applied, okay, for good and well, about the adjective, the adverb, and so on. Now let's look at some really important exceptions, which might contradict it a little bit, but you need to know them so you understand and can use these words correctly. So here are some important exceptions. Number 1, when we use linking verbs, we need to use the word good. Let me give you some examples of linking verbs. For example, look, smell, taste, feel. With these words, these verbs, we need to use good. For example, everything looks good. You walk into someone's house, you say, something smells good. Maybe there's a cake in the oven, maybe something else. Okay? Or the food tastes good. The pizza tastes good. Or the sunshine feels good. All right? Or the jacuzzi feels good. All right? So when you have these kind of verbs, we use good, even though they are verbs. And that's why this board is about the exceptions. All right. The second very common verb we have is the verb what? To be. So with the verb to be also, we very often use good to describe something. For example, the movie was good. The book was good. How was the meeting? Oh, it was good. How was the weather when you were on holiday? It was good. All right. So very often with the verb to be, we use good. Now, sometimes, however, especially in informal conversation nowadays, depending on the meaning, we may use good or well when we're asked a particular question. For example, if you're asked, hey, how are you today? Most often, people will just say, oh, I'm good. So what is I'm good? It means we're talking about their mood, their emotional state. And it's more informal. It's more casual. Okay? I'm good. And it just means I'm fine. Everything's good with me. Everything in my world is fine. So they just say I'm good, but that I'm good is more like talking about your mood, okay? Your emotional state. Separately, sometimes people will say I'm well. There we are referring to the physical health. So if somebody has been a little bit unwell and you ask them, how are you today? And they'll probably understand that you're asking about their physical health. And that person would then respond, I'm well. Okay? Oh, how is John? I heard he had been unwell. He's well now. Okay? So when you're talking about physical health or when people do, they use I'm well. And when it's the emotional state, I'm good. This one is more informal and this one is a little more formal and proper and specific. All right. So that's it. Thank you so much for staying till the end. I know you're a serious student. And if you'd like to check out my course, Correct Your English Errors in 10 minutes a day, please do that. There's a link at the bottom. And all the best with your English. Step by step, you can master your English. I know that. You will do it. You're doing it right now.